Hello and welcome to our webinar today. It is about the STEM Masters programs at Skoltech Institute of Science and Technology. My name is Zurnica and I'll be the moderator of this session on behalf of Unimind Masters, the school finding and selection program for postgraduate studies worldwide. Thank you everyone for joining us. Let us welcome our speakers today, Denis Tularov, the Head of Students Department at Skoltech, and Daria Burova, current PhD student and graduate of the Master's Program in Material Science at Skoltech. We'll start with an overview of the Master's programs at Skoltech and then give the word to Daria to share more about her academic experience and how it helped her in her professional development. So now I'd like to give the word to Denise to share with us more about the Skoltech academic opportunities.
Thank you very much. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Dennis. I'm head of student department at Skoltech, and thank you very much for joining us tonight. And I'm in my short presentation, I'm going to just briefly outline the key facts about Skoltech, basically who we are and what we do. And after that, maybe you will find for yourself some really interesting opportunities regarding your personal educational path. Connected with Skoltech, of course. So let me start with just some basic things to know about Skoltech. So first thing you have to know about Skoltech is that we're a young university. And as you probably know, in the world, young university is considered as those who are below 50 years. And with this perspective, we're a very young university because this year we're going to turn 10 years. So we're very young, but despite this fact, you can see this nice Nature Index logo right next to our logo on the slide, which means that in 2019, we've been included in the list of the top 100 best young universities in the world, according to Nature Index. And Nature Index is the thing which is really respectful and we consider this as a quite an remarkable achievement for us, and we're very proud of it. Well, next important thing to know about Skoltech is that all education at Skoltech is conducted in English. And you, as international students, you don't need to know Russian to come and study in Moscow at Skoltech. So this is really great opportunity for international students to, get a hands-on experience via a best STEM English speaking program. Next important thing is that we managed to combine science, innovation, and entrepreneurship in one educational product in our programs, and it has its own specific reflection there. So we will talk about this a bit later. And the last, but probably the most important part from my point of view, is that we've managed to get a team of a globally renowned faculty here on board, and they act not only like course instructors and research advisors for our students, but also like mentors, helping them to achieve their career goals and shape their career path. This is really important. Okay, speaking about our education, we are STEM school, so we have a STEM graduate school. We don't do bachelors, we have only masters and PhD. And speaking about the areas of knowledge, we're purely STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And here on the slide, you can see the nearest deadlines for application submissions for these programs that we have. Just in case you're thinking about submitting your application during this application period, just don't miss the deadlines. Okay, speaking about our educational programs. So if we're talking about masters, it's fully on-site, 2 years long Master of Science program. And we are using ECTS system, European Credit Transfer System. And for 2 years of on-site studies, each student has to obtain at least 120 credits in order to get this or that degree in this or that particular area of knowledge. Of course, as of today, we are hopefully past the middle of this COVID-19 pandemic situation. And as of today, our educational programs are in blended mode. So we have mostly it in distant, but some parts, especially connected with lab equipment for PhD students, is on site. But hopefully, new academic year starting in September 2021, so in a few months from today for masters and November 1st for PhD students. Hopefully, the new academic year we would start in offline mode. In whatever new normal would be, of course, with all the precautions made during the due to this ongoing pandemic. But in general, in Moscow, situation is getting better regarding the number of cases, and hopefully vaccination would help. And well, we are really looking forward to meeting new students in this new academic year offline. So, okay, let me return to the educational program. As you can see, the structure of the program is actually really adjustable and allow our students to just pursue their career goals depending on the way they really feel it and the way they really want. So how it works, we have 36 credits for compulsory courses, and it's the core of each program, like the key minimum you have to obtain in order to get this or that degree in this particular field. All other modules of the program, student could adjust to his or her needs. So for instance, we have model for elective courses, which is 24 credits, and within this model, students could pick courses from the whole course catalog of Skoltech, which as of today contains more than 200 courses. For instance, if you're mastering, well, let's say data science program, but you want to dig a bit deeper in life sciences, let's say in bioinformatics, you can pick some courses from life sciences program in this module. Also, we have module for entrepreneurship and innovation, and within this part, we actually teach our students how technology may be commercialized, how to launch your own startup, and we actually provide you with tools how to do this. For instance, we have a course which is called Innovation Workshop. It's a month-long course, and the structure of this course is, well, it's more or less similar to what you can see and what you can find in some accelerator programs of startups. So within 1 month, you have to get a team of multidisciplinary team, come up with some idea, and throughout this 1 month, you have to make some MVP, minimum viable product out of this idea, and afterwards present this to a global expert, to some venture experts, to our professors, of course. And despite the fact that this course is actually just designed to give you a glimpse of what could be there in terms of commercializing the technology, many students continue to work on their projects after the course is finished, because they understand, well, that this is really an opportunity. And by the way, as of today, Skoltech, throughout our 10 years history, Skoltech has around 100 startups which were launched within Skoltech, on Skoltech campus, and half of these startups were launched together or by our students and alumni. So this is very good figure that we're really proud of. And also we have 12 credits for industrial immersion, and normally our master students between their first and second year of studies, they don't have summer vacation, because for 2 months they're obliged to go to a company and apply their knowledge into solving real world problems. And we have a special service organized to that, and we help our students, of course, to find a proper company, to find a proper position, and to just feel themselves comfortable during this industrial immersion period. And by the way, this is a really nice opportunity for our students to just take a test drive of a company, and of course present themselves and have a really nice several lines in their CV after they finish the study. Also, the final part of this structure is the research and master thesis project. And again, your research, your thesis, it may be more theoretically oriented, or more practically oriented, or more entrepreneurial oriented, depending on the way you really feel it, you really need it, and of course, the way you really figured it out with your research advisor. Okay, moving to some perks. So on the slide, you can see our academic mobility program map. Again, of course, right now, this COVID-19 pandemic messed up all the things, but we hope that we could return to this program starting from the new academic year to full extent. Speaking about academic mobility, on the you can see on the world map, there are a lot of dots there. Of course, it's not like the full list of places where a student been, but you can recognize there are two logos on the slides. It's Skoltech logo and MIT logo. And MIT logo here is on purpose because MIT, which is considered as the best school throughout like the majority of rankings many years in a row, MIT initially helped us to launch Skoltech, to design our educational programs, And that is why, by the way, we consider our educational process a state-of-art thing. But and today, of course, we have really tight collaborations with MIT. We have around 20 joint research projects going on, and students, of course, they do have an opportunity to participate in these projects as well, and just to travel to MIT for some time of period to just participate in these projects. But in general, academic world is much bigger than MIT, and our students, they have an opportunity to travel to particular any place in the world, of course, if they have a proper justification for that. What may be considered as a proper justification? Well, let's say you need to go to Tokyo University because only there you could find lab equipment, which is very rare in the world, and you need this equipment to just finalize your master thesis. Or only there you can find a professor who has been publishing recently very actively on the topic which you're working on, and you would like to work with this professor for some period of time in order just to finalize your master thesis or make it much better. So in case you have some proper justification and your scientific advisor approves this, Skoltech sends you there and covers all the costs related to that trip. According to our previous stats, in the previous normal, around 60% of our students use this opportunity to go on academic mobility and go just see how research is done elsewhere in the world. And this is, by the way, it's really important to us because we really think that science could not be done within the borders. It's a borderless thing, and of course, Skoltech, being an international institution, is very put an emphasis on being a part of this huge international scientific community. And by the way, many of our faculty members, many of our professors, they still have second affiliations in the best top schools out there in Europe, in America, in Asia. So our students don't experience any problems with finding a proper destination for their academic mobility program. Okay, speaking about the career tracks, so where our graduates go. Normally, it's three directions, and the first one would be the industry. So it's for those who want to perform a professional career, so go to a company after they would finish masters. And as I said, we already have industrial immersion embedded into our educational program, which is mandatory to all students. And this is a really nice opportunity for students to, well, just present themselves and adjust their understanding of how actually industry works. But also many, like the majority of our labs, they perform a lot of industrial grants. It's when like a company would come to a lab saying, okay, here's our money, please do this and that R&D for our purposes. So many of our labs, they're doing these R&D projects for industry, for industrial money. And students, of course, they as well have this opportunity to participate in these projects and maybe just find a topic for their master thesis or find a future placement for themselves if they would definitely succeed on that project. Next track is a science track, and it's for those who want to pursue an academic career, so to go for a PhD after master's. And as I said, we have our own PhD programs, but in general, our students, our graduates, they don't experience any problems in getting best PhD positions in top schools all over the world. And today, by the way, this track is getting more and more popular because well, first of all, there are a lot of money right now in science, especially that science that we're doing, and many grants, industry funded or government funded. So many students consider this as the real path to do. And second thing why this track is getting more and more popular is because 100% of our professors, they're active researchers. So it's not like they're just reading this course for 20 years in a row and nothing happens else. So they're actively publishing, they have huge H indexes, and of course, it's sometimes really hard to stand aside of some beautiful research which is done in your lab. And many students, even those who probably at the beginning wanted to pursue an industry-based career, they would like to switch to this academic career because it's really fun and it's really driving and Skoltech being on the edge of this scientific research at some areas, like on the very edge, it's really a great opportunity for our students and graduates to do. And the last, but definitely not least, is a startup track. As I said, it's for those who want to launch their own company and, based on some high-tech things that they've developed during their studies at Skoltech. And as I said, we have a special model, especially dedicated just to get to bring composed, well-designed knowledge to our students, but also we have an opportunity to provide a particular tools to do that. Skoltech being a part of the Skolkovo Innovation System, which is Skolkovo Innovation Center, which is the special place in Russia where all innovations are get together, and we have a special Skolkovo Foundation, which is dedicated to provide special support, including financial support to startups. And students of Skoltech have a special fast track to that support. And you guys, including international students, you have an opportunity to launch a company in Russia, to launch a startup, and to get a specially dedicated funding to just develop your startup. And many students use this opportunity. So this is also really important, and many students just successfully pursue this track. Yeah, speaking about industrial partners, of course, it's not the full list, because if we would like to talk about the full list, it would be a separate presentation, but it's just some examples of key companies which we're working with from different fields of knowledge. And it's not only Russian companies, it's international companies. And by the way, our graduates, they're giving the set of skills that they would receive and giving the level of science that we do here, they would be our graduates, they ready to work in particular any multinational corporation, and they don't experience any problems in getting jobs there. Okay, speaking about the selection process, so I will just briefly outline some key facts about how to get to Skoltech. And by the way, please share this information with your friends or your just people who might be interested in this information if they, for some reasons, are not present here tonight with us. So first thing to remember about Skoltech selections process is that you don't want to wait till final deadline to submit your application. Our final deadline for this academic year for masters is July 16. So after this date, we won't be accepting any applications for this academic year. So please submit your application before July 16 in case you consider entering this year, but please don't wait till the final deadline. The right course of action would be is that as soon as we would finish today, you would go to some comfortable place, open your laptop, pour yourself a cup of whatever you're drinking in the evening, and start submitting your application. So please don't wait till the final deadline to do that. The good news are that the good news is that application system is pretty simple. So it's user friendly, and the only thing you have to do is to just fill in the key data fields there, upload some documents, and there are actually two important documents there which you have to pay additional attention. First one is your motivation letter, and I would recommend just some tips on doing that. I would recommend not to use templates from the internet, because our professors, they know by word these templates from Google search, like, first 10, that Skoltech is the best university in the world, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we got it. But write about it yourself. Maybe it wouldn't be so fancy in terms of the English language, but since we're not the English language, English Literature Institute, it's better to be true and about you than some fancy random template from the internet. So please write it yourself. And by the way, we have really nice guides provided to the applicants about how to properly write motivation letter, what to pay attention to, etc. So just write it yourself. Next important document is actually two documents, and it's recommendation letters. And you could either request a blind recommendation from some of the faculty member which you've been working with, or it could be an open recommendation if that is considered in the culture where you're working or studying. So the recommendation may be provided by your faculty members who used to work with you, or even by a PhD student who used to work with you in a lab, or by someone from company, let's say, if you've been doing some internships there, etc. So particularly from any person who could say a few words about you from academic or professional point of view. Next important thing, so after you submit, after you upload all the documents and fill in all the necessary fields, you have to submit your application, and after that you'll be entitled to pass online test with screening. So online test is a specially dedicated event which will be communicated beforehand to you, and normally it lasts for 3 hours and it is program tailored. So it depends on the problems in this test depends on the program which you're applying for, and you have to pass this test. Well, it's a pretty simple thing to do in terms of organizational matters. So you just open your laptop in the specially dedicated time and pass the test. But before you do that, you have to install a special software on your laptop. And this special software is a proctoring tools, which we use just in order to prevent you from cheating. Of course, we understand that particular any system could be cheated, but please don't do that, because you will be inevitably caught, and that will be harm your future CV in general. So please don't do that. Just properly prepare yourself, and especially for online testing, we have a special programs and sample tests just in order for you to prepare yourself well. So after you pass online test with screening, all the information about you, meaning your portfolio and the results of your online test, would be transferred to our faculty members committees, and they will look through the results of your performance, and only the best ones will be invited to the final stage. Final stage is a 2 days event. Of course, everything what I'm talking about right now, we're doing this online. So if you're invited to the finals, it's a 2-day online event where you have to pass some additional exams. Speaking about these additional exams, first one is the interview with the faculty members panel. So it's normally a 20-30 minutes interview where you present yourself, tell about your previous research, education, and of course what you plan to do in your master's and what goal to pursue. You may be asked to solve some solve some problems from the online test as well. So, but in general, it's a normal interview. By the way, I would recommend to get this experience for everyone, even if you wouldn't go through our selections and be offered a position at Skoltech, or you would change your mind. Anyway, this experience is really important for you, because you and me, all of us, in future will have a lot of interviews, and the more you pass it, the more experience you get, the better you are at this. So just don't worry about this. Just take a look at this as your invaluable experience you get. Also, at some programs, we have additional online tests with screening, like such programs like Data Science. They require additional online testing. It's a math test, and it's a bit more complicated than the pre-selection test. But since it's a test, and we take a look at your hard skills level. Also, there is an entrepreneurship and innovation challenge. It's it's not program tailored. It's just some task which is assigned to all of the participants of the final selections. And within 2 days, you have to solve a problem which is not related to the program which you're applying for. It's related to some other sphere, not related to science at all, but you have to solve this problem and present your solution to the committee. And during your performance, we actually monitor how you pass this challenge. We take a look at your soft skills, and you couldn't fail this stage, but you could definitely gain some additional points by performing it really well. And the last selection exam is for those who don't have English proficiency certificate. on hands. So if you do have English proficiency certificate, Skoltech accepts only TOEFL or IELTS. So if you have TOEFL or IELTS, which is passing our bar with the score, of course, you just upload it in your application and forget about this. If you don't have TOEFL or IELTS with a passing score, all the finals participants would be provided with an opportunity to pass official TOEFL ITP in digital form for free. So you would be able to pass this and it's official, since Skoltech is official partner of ETS, which is the developer of this TOEFL testing systems, we provide you with an opportunity to pass this for free. And by the way, by default, the result you will get would be applicable only for Skoltech, but for some additional money, you could buy a certificate which would be applicable for any other institution. So it's official ETS certificate. So, well, also you wouldn't need to pass TOEFL if you had your previous education in English, and that should be explicitly mentioned in your diploma that your program was mastered in English. Okay, so after you pass this, we would just make a ranking of the best ones, and the best ones would be offered a position at Skoltech and join us in September for master's education. Okay, just to conclude and pass the floor to our student and alumni, Daria. Well, 6 things which I find really important for you in order to consider continuing your education with Skoltech. First thing is the globally renowned faculty, which, well, 100% of them are active researchers and have experience teaching or working or studying at the best universities in the world. And again, they act not only like course instructors and research advisors, of course, but also like mentors, helping you, our students, to just pursue your career goals. Next important thing is that all education at Skoltech is conducted in English. And this is really important for you because you would be able to work in particular any place in the world, and you would be really international specialists. Next important thing is that we provide our students with an opportunity to launch their own startup during the study, and we actually teach our students how to do this, and also provide with tools and variety of opportunities, including funding. Next important thing is that we have industry immersion and academic mobility programs embedded into our educational programs, and this is a really nice opportunity for students to get some additional experience and some additional skill sets. Next important thing, especially during the COVID-19 times, as of today, Skoltech don't charge tuition fees. So if you'll manage to pass the selection process, which is completely free as well, you would be provided with a full tuition waiver. So education would be completely free for you and without any obligations, except one, of course, to be a really great student and to become a really nice specialist. And after that, well, have a really bright career. And also all of our students, the last point, all of our students are entitled to receive monthly scholarship. It's around, well, let's say 500 euros, depending on the exchange rate. And it's pretty enough to cover living costs in Moscow. So it is provided by default. You shouldn't apply additionally to receive the scholarship. So if you get admitted, which is, well, the process, as I stated before, is completely free as well. If you get admitted, if you will receive our offer, all education for you would be free of charge. And also you would receive your monthly scholarship. We pay this amount of money to our students because, well, it's really hard to study at Skoltech. Our programs are really, well, intense from academic standing. And of course, you wouldn't be able to just receive money from any other sources, like to get a job or something else. So you should be focused for these 2 years on receiving, on getting your education. And that is why we provide you with this minimum comfort in order for you to just be practical about that. And of course, for international students, we have especially dedicated accommodation options. Okay, and just to finish up, our campus, our beautiful campus, which was designed by European Bureau Herzog de Meuron, and this is a really nice place to spend 2 or 4 years of your life, getting the best STEM education. And by the way, in 2019, it's been included in the list. It was considered as the best university campus in the world by UNESCO, and we have this official award in our portfolio, which is we're also proud of. And of course, we're really miss it because, as I said, the previous academic year was mainly in distant, and we and our students, of course, miss it so much. But again, fingers crossed that we would start new academic year on campus. Okay, all that I've said could be found on this website that you see right now on your screens. It's student.skoltech.ru. Also there, you could find all the necessary links and buttons, which of course would be provided to you in our post communication as well. But just in order for you to not to forget this or to share, again, I would like to ask you to share this information with your friends who might be as well interested in this. Via this website, you could find all the necessary information about studying at Skoltech and the process of getting your education. Okay, I think that is it from my part as of now. So I would like to give a floor to Daria. Daria, the floor is yours.
Daria, would you please just turn your microphone on?
Yeah, could you hear me now? Okay, nice. So yeah, let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Burova Daria. I was graduated Skoltech in 2019, material science program. And today I'm going to briefly tell you about my personal experience about Skoltech. So firstly, how it started, I got my bachelor degree in MIPT in applied mathematics and physics. And then I had to decide what I want to do next. So continue some, let's say, classical Russian master program or try something new, like Skoltech, for example. And also a lot of my colleagues, I mean, classmates, they already applied for Skoltech programs, and they were very happy about the system, the features of Skoltech, the campus itself, and so on. So I also decided to try it. So basically, the mainly steps for the application is, so yeah, Denise already said a lot of information. But yeah, for me, it was CV, English exam, and exam, for me, it was math and chemistry. In CV, you also, of course, you have to tell about your background, your knowledge, your education, but it also will be very nice to write about your experience, like non-academic experience, maybe some hackathons, competitions, some sports or charity programs are you involved in, or also your hobbies. And the next two parts, it's two exams. For it, you don't need to share your like personal features and so on. You just have to show your level of knowledge, which is very important in my opinion, because firstly, the English is the main language all over the world. If you want to study in all the countries, if you want to have a job in some international company and so on. And the same is for your like math exam or other type of exam, because it's also quite important even for professors, because they also want the students, they have the good level of the knowledge. But in my opinion, the most important and the most crucial part in the application, it is interview with the professors. The first things you can ask them are the questions that you wanted to ask about the programs, about the research projects, about their interests in some project that you want to start or they want to like propose. And the second, the professors can also ask question to you about your goals, about like opportunity that they can propose to you. And for example, I know such situation when one of the students, they were quite good But just in the middle, in the interview, the professor said, oh, maybe it's better to try to go to another interview, to another program, because a lot of programs in Skoltech are quite like close to each other. So if you're interested in, for example, data analysis in biology, you can apply in data analysis program like data science, or you can apply to the life science program. And only professors can say to you which is better for your situation, for example. And why I chose Skoltech in general, because of several stuff. And I want to say about these things one more time, because I think it's the most important things about Skoltech itself. And it is the key features of the studying process in Skoltech. So first, it's the credit system. Maybe you know that almost all universities, for example, in Russia have fixed courses or fixed program. But with Skoltech credit system, you can build your own program depending on your needs. Considering that a lot of research projects in Skoltech are multidisciplinary, it is a common situation when you need some skills from math or physics and so on, and you can avoid stucking with this kind of problem just taking the necessary course. Along with it, all the master students are required to participate in an industrial immersion project during the summer term of the first study year. And basically, yeah, it's a short term, some research project, development of something, or for example, manufacturing under the supervision of some industrial company employee. And in general, it has two main advantages. Firstly, every graduate student at Skoltech has a work experience, which is quite important if you want to apply further for a job position, or if you want to go to academia, so for PhD position as well. And the second advantage is about making contacts with the people who already work in the industry. Observe some internal things, pros and contra that you cannot find out during, like, if you scroll just the official site of the company. In my case, for example, I did some small research project for the Bosch. The innovational workshop is also a quite unique experience. It's 1 month full-time intensive like boot camp that unites the entire Skoltech course. So during this 1 month, during this innovation workshop, you basically meet all of your like people who are also enrolled in this year. So it's the first point. So you can communicate with other people, so make some connections and so on. And it's also an opportunity for students to learn more about some Skoltech basic values and meet the class and most of the faculty and so on. And the last part of this is academic mobility. It's also a unique opportunity to carry out part of your research in a collaboration with almost every university all over the world. And this is in the same time the experience of working in other countries, as well as chance to broaden your connections. In my opinion, the important thing of academic mobility, so if you're good enough for it, and if you apply for this program during your Skoltech studying, and if it's okay, so if you're good enough for it, you don't need to find finding for it, because for many like universities, maybe they can say, okay, you can go for the internship, but basically in most cases you need to find your own funding, which is quite like, it's not that easy, even if it's like 2 months in the middle of the year and so on. And about a lot of opportunity that Skoltech gives to you if you want to do your research. For example, in my case, during my master program, during these 2 years, I wrote one first author article, one article when I was co-author, and we also got one patent, and the second one is on the road. So if you want to do like only research like academical stuff, it's an option. But if you want to launch your own startup, so if you want to bring your ideas into the life, so patent your stuff and so on, Skoltech is also can support you in this stuff. So now I'm a PhD student at University of Hasselt in Belgium, and I can be sure that Skoltech helped me a lot with this choice. So firstly, to have required background, publications, work experience, and so on. As a few little tips for the future students, I would like to mention these key points. First, read all the information about programs, requirements, professors very thoroughly to avoid any misunderstandings and to not miss any important dates and so on. Also, do not hesitate to ask all the questions that you have during all the steps of an application. And finally, be confident and believe in yourself because, in my opinion, it is the most important things. So thank you for your attention.
Great, Daria. Thank you very much for your introduction and sharing your experience.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, we received a couple of questions. Most of them refer actually to the admissions process. And so the first one is a GRE test required? I think this is something that Dennis needs to answer.
Yeah, so if you have GRE, you could upload it and attach it to your application, and that would be definitely a plus. But GRE is not required. So it's not a mandatory requirement. So you may, if you don't have GRE, you shouldn't pass it in order to get to Skoltech. We have a thoroughly designed selection and application process, and we actually don't need GRE in order to give you assessment on your academic and professional background level. So we have our own expertise in that, and of course, those students who would pass the selection process at Skoltech, we understand that they're really great professionals in the future and really good learners. So we would be able to offer them a position at Skoltech. So GRE is not needed, but in case you have one, just attach it. That would be a plus.
Great, thanks, Denise. Oh, the next question refers to the backgrounds of the students. Is it possible for someone who had previously studied physics to apply for a master's in mathematics, for example?
The short answer is yes, it is possible, and you could apply. But of course, you have to work with your motivation here, because if you would apply for a second master's, it is, well, sometimes it happens. It's not forbidden. You could apply, and we have each year we have a few students accepted to second masters. But of course, you have to, well, just have a proper justification and motivation for this move, because why you need your second master's in case you already have one. Maybe it's better to consider PhD, or if you're switching the area of knowledge, why you're switching this area, because it is also has it has to have some grounds behind it. We have several interesting stories. For instance, we have a story of a student who had an engineering background, so he was an IT programmer, but he managed to get to a life sciences program without any biological background at all. But absence of this background didn't make any problems for him, but also make him an opportunity to see things which students with a huge record of biological background don't see. And he managed to come up with an idea of a special search engine for CRISPR-Cas systems, and it was a really great achievement, scientific achievement. He even received an NIH award in America, and well, it was quite a remarkable scientific achievement for him, even though he didn't have any biological experience before he entered life sciences program. So there's some examples when this multidisciplinary things works. But again, as I said, it's better to have a proper justification and explanation for switching of areas. So why do you need this?
Yeah, all clear. Thanks, Denise. Well, the next question, should I have my bachelor's degree completed before applying to Skoltech, or I could apply while I'm in the process of getting it?
Well, this is really interesting and important question. Thank you for this. So the answer is no. You don't need to have your bachelor degree finalized at the time when you apply, but you have to be on your final year. So if you're right now in your final year of bachelor, so normally it's fourth year, you could apply and get admitted, even though you would finish defend your bachelor diploma in, let's say, in summer or even in the beginning of autumn, you could still may apply and get admitted to Skoltech, but you shouldn't have to wait till you would just finalize your bachelor's and receive your diploma on hands. So you could get admitted without that. But of course, you have to be on your final year. So it wouldn't work if you're right now on your second year or third year.
Great. We have two specific questions about certain majors people are interested in. And the question is, do you have such programs available? The first one is about an engineering management. And the second one is about biotechnology. So do you have such majors or majors that are somehow related to these specialties?
Well, speaking about the management, even though we have special modules in each of our master's program, which is which touches management issues, right, and management problems, and we teach in some parts we teach this, but we don't have a specially dedicated management program in whatever field. So not in STEM, not in any other like economics, business, etc. So we don't do that. The list of areas of knowledge is strictly STEM. So it's a Master of Science in biotechnology or in computer science or in etc. So STEM fields, not management. And speaking about biotechnology, yes, of course, we do have. And the life sciences program is one of our key programs, speaking about amount of students which we annually enroll to this program. It's quite popular, so I would definitely recommend to check it out on Life Sciences website. If you remember the link that I've provided, it's student.skoltech.ru. You can follow this link, and then you will find a link to the Life Sciences program, and then you can read all the information about it, including information about professors, courses, etc. So definitely check this out.
Well, great. I will bring you a little back to the question about the business and economics. You mentioned that you don't have such majors, but is it possible for someone who had a business background to apply? I think you already mentioned that you accept people with different backgrounds given that they prove enough interest and motivation. Is this correct?
Yep, that works for bachelors in not STEM fields as well. So if you have your bachelor's in management or business or economics or I don't know, even arts, so let's say, why not? But you feel yourself like getting a master's degree in STEM and you feel that you could pass the selections, just give it a try. Why not? If you pass the selection process, we wouldn't take a look on what is written in your bachelor's diploma. If that would be arts, let's be it. But if you manage to pass our selection process, it means that we want you as our student. So with this regards, I would say that it's definitely worth a try, even if you sometimes don't feel very confident in this decision, since it's not charged through the financial point of view. So just give it a try and let's see.
Great, thanks. And we received a couple of questions about the funding and the scholarship opportunities. I know that you devoted a special slide on that, but it almost sounds too good to be true. So would you please repeat, like, does everyone get an opportunity to get a funding and scholarship?
Yeah, so all of our, as I said, everyone could apply, and our application and selection process is completely free. So we don't charge any application fees or selection fees. So it's completely free. Even our those who would get to the finals would receive official free TOEFL testing. So it is also like a benefit to you. And if you get accepted, if you get our offer, all of our students who would receive an offer would receive also full tuition waiver, so no tuition charges, and it has no obligation, so it's not a grant when you have to, after you would finish your degree, go to work to some company for some amount of years or do anything else. So no obligations at all, as I said, except one, to be a great student. And Also, all of our students are entitled to receive monthly scholarship. So there's no additional application process for that. So if you get admitted, you would receive monthly scholarship, which is around 500 euros per month. So it depends on the exchange rate because we pay it in rubles, but depending on the exchange rate, it's around 500 euros per month right now. And it's again, it's really enough to cover living costs in Moscow. Speaking about the accommodation fees, I see this question in the Q&A section. As I said, we provide accommodation for international students here on Skolkovo territory. So it's like a 10-minute walk from campus. And of course, it has some accommodation fees, but they are relevantly low to the amount of monthly scholarship that you would receive each month. So it's pretty coverable with that. So don't worry about this at all.
Great. And since many of the attendees, and I guess many of your students are international ones, so would you please give them some information about like the living cost in Moscow? Is there also some student support for getting visas?
About the living costs, I would like to give a floor to Daria because my living costs is well not to students, because I mainly just go to work from home to work and don't spend a lot of money. But maybe Daria could shed some light on that.
Yeah, so if we talk about some costs, if you want to live somewhere close to the Skoltech, so it's a small city called Trехgorka, you can easily find some apartments. I mean, if you want an apartment just for you, it would be like, I would say 25,000. It would be like nice studio apartments. But as I know, many of students in Skoltech, they rented some shared apartment. So for example, 3 people in a three-room apartment. So it would cost for you like 10,000 and maybe some 15,000. And for some food and so on, you need just like 10 to 15,000. I mean, it depends on the person, of course. If you want to like to go to the restaurants or some food deliveries and so on. But for me, like 40,000, it was more than enough. I rented apartment for myself, so I lived alone, and I don't remember about some problems with the money.
So if you are really, careful to your finances, you even could save some money to attend a club twice or two in half a year. We still have this working in Moscow, by the way, and this is huge benefit as of today's situation. So we have restaurants, cafes, even clubs working on. So everyone's welcome. And I see also, yeah, by the way, it was a question about visas. Of course, Skoltech provides complete visa support to our students, and we help you to get visa. We issue a letter of invitation, etc. But also for international students, we provide relocation support, meaning that we would pay for your tickets from your hometown, wherever you're located, to get to Moscow. But it's only a one-time offer, so it works one way. It's not a round trip, so it's only one way. So from your place where you live to Moscow to before the start of an academic year. Of course, if you get accepted to Skoltech. Also, I see a question about the topics for petroleum engineering. As I said, we have for each program, we have a sample test available. So you should just check out the website that I've provided, and there you could find all the links and buttons for the sample tests of each program, and there you could just shape your overview of what we're asking, and just to manage your expectations with that.
Yeah, great. I think actually that we are through all the questions that were asked. Maybe as something to end the session, it would be interesting to me to hear from Daria, like how her studying at Skoltech helped her be where she is now. I know that you mentioned a few things, but if you can sum up, it would be really lovely.
So basically, I think that the main thing it's the level of education and also the system. So this credit system, is also like very important, and if you want to apply for example, PhD position in Europe. So you don't need to transfer your like diploma of like Russian diploma, because you already have your diploma in English. And it's also important if you want to like apply for a job. So it's okay, it's a practical thing, but also I'm like very happy that I could do some research, and also attended some courses that I was really interested in. So it was not that I have to go to some course that I don't really like or I don't really need. And yeah, I did like a lot of during my master. I mean, if we talk about research, because as I know, all my colleagues in Europe, they didn't publish anything during the master, but in Skoltech you can. And also, for example, my classmate, two girls, they launched their own startup in the Skolkova. So with the help of Skoltech and Skolkova. So nothing is impossible if you are in Skoltech.
Great. It was really a nice message for the end of the webinar. There were questions about people who left the webinar earlier or who came back. This webinar is recorded, so even if you were not able to attend the entire webinar, you receive a follow-up email with a link to the recording in 2 weeks. So you will be able to review all the information that is of interest to you. So yeah, I think we're kind of running out of time. So if you have a few final words to share, please.
We're waiting for your applications, and hopefully we would meet to the majority of you September 1st here on campus, and would welcome you as our students of new cohort. So I wish you good luck, and just remember, if that would be the only thing you would get from today's webinar, is that let it be the thing that you wouldn't like to wait till the final deadline to start submitting your application. So please do this as soon as possible.
Great, thanks very much. I really hope that we helped our attendees to make their decision about studying at Skoltech. It's a really great opportunity to get more specialized knowledge in the field of your interest. So yeah, thanks to all of you. Thanks to Denis and Daria. It was really very interesting and informative. And wishing you lots of luck and success in your professional development, and the same to our attendees. I wish them a lot of luck in their academic journey. So
thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All the best.
Bye.